Alright, hi and welcome to today's video. So today I wanted to create another small project, and what I decided to do is a tic-tac-toe. Basically, it's a very simple game. And so what I started with is creating a char array that contains 9 actual chars, which is going to be the board itself. Okay, and then I also decided to add 2 ints for the players, and this is to keep track of the score. Then I also needed to know which char corresponds to what player, and also the current char that we are playing with. I then went on to create a display board function, which, it displays the board. We are using the board array, and we are just gonna display the data that we have in it. So yeah, that's what we're doing here, and I don't think this project is gonna take that long, to be honest. I think maybe 1 or 2 more videos on it. I also decided to create a reset board function, which it just resets the board array to its initial values, and we're gonna use this when the player wants to reset the game or restart the game itself. Now I went on to create the function that actual start game, which is gonna be the main game itself. And what I started with is I want to write to the console what character corresponds to what player, if you know what I'm trying to say. So player 1, so because every time we restart the game we exchange the characters, and that's what I want to do. And then we also display board, and we also gonna be asking the user for a number between 1 and 9, which is gonna be the cell of that board. And then I also created another function which just returns false if there is an X or an O in that cell. So we're just checking if it's empty or not, if we can use that cell. That's what I'm trying to do here. Okay, if it's not empty, the current cell that the user picked, well, then we know it's an invalid position because there is already an X or an O in that position. So we have to, tell the user that you can't use this, and we can just reset the game, or reset the console, and we're gonna call start game again. And then we're also gonna change the actual board array to that current char. Okay, now I worked on the actual to check if there is a winner. This is to be honest, pretty big part. It took a while to figure it out, but I got it at the end because there's just so many and or operations. But yeah, so right now I am checking the rows, if some of the rows are equal to the current, because the current, we know that it's the last one we picked. That's what we can use the cur, which is the character. Alright, some water break right there. Anyways, I also so now I finished with the rows and now I went on ahead with the columns. It's pretty much the same thing as well. And then I also went on the diagonals because we can't forget about those. And now lastly we also need to check if there is a draw, which is a bit different. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna create a count variable, and we're gonna loop through the entire board, and we have to see if all of them are not empty. If all of them are not empty, we know it's gonna be a draw, and that the user can't, place any more positions. Okay, and so I continue with the start game functions, and now I'm gonna check if there is a winner. So that's what I'm gonna do here, and if no winner, we just simply change the current character to the other character. So if it's going to be an X, then it's going to be an O, and if it was an O, then it's going to be an X. And then we just reset the console, and we're going to call start game it again. If the winner is player 1, well, then we just increase their score, and we're also gonna output who the actual winner is. And we're gonna do the same thing for the player 2 as well. And if it's a draw, obviously we're not gonna increase the score for anyone, and we're just gonna say that it's been a draw, and that's that. We're gonna finish the start game function. Before that, I also I'm gonna add another parameter called bool again, and we're gonna set it default to equal to false. So this, if we want to restart the game, we're gonna change what character correspond to what player, and that's what I basically did there. And then in the main function, we're just gonna call start game true, so it's gonna reset the 2 player characters, and we're gonna simply ask if they want to go again. So when the start game returns, we can ask them if they would like to play again, and if yes, well, then we can just reset the board, and we can call main again, which is, start another game basically. Else we can just show them the results, and we can exit the program. And that's I'm sorry guys, and that's basically all that I managed to do. Now I'm gonna also take up a quick example to actually show that the code is gonna be working, which I know my code barely works, but I know it's crazy, guys, believe me. So we can see here, this is how it's gonna look, and we can see that the display board works and everything and so on. And yeah, that's pretty much all I wanted to take up today. I think in the next video I would definitely like to make an option for the user to play with the computer itself, and I'm gonna need a minimax algorithm for that, so I definitely want to talk a bit more about that on the later videos. But yeah, that's gonna be it for today. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys another time.